Yo, beats to the rhymes. I haven't really logged on and checked what's cracking tonight, but what up to everybody? What's going down? Back at it. WH4 the station making waves. Eddie Logix in the building.
What up, though?
We're just chilling, man, doing it like this. Orange juice. We play this a bunch of times, though. That video is dope.
Oh yeah, shout out to Self Says in that video.
I seen Self Says still kicking around. Is he on this?
Yeah, he's on one of the joints on there too. Self Says, much love to Self Says. He's out in Philly now. Shout out to the Philly homies.
That's where he is, Philly, huh?
He's in Philly. Shout out to my man I Alive in Philly, who
was Self Says from Lansing.
I mean, yeah, he's from Lansing and Detroit area, but yeah, he was a Lansing cat.
Well, I feel like I knew Self Says kind of through I think Benny Ben used to play him a lot up at Michigan State.
Yeah, Lansing, Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
crew. He's in that whole scene.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, I think I first met him though in Detroit at Alvin's back in the day. Shout out Alvin's.
Shout out to Alvin's. I seen Eminem at Alvin's.
Man, I miss Alvin's, bro. I wasn't in the beginning. I feel like I wasn't there to see Eminem at Alvin's,
but you were still around when Alvin's was around. I mean,
when it was still popping. I'd seen a lot of and met a lot of people.
Okay, there. We were around when Alvin's. That was a hard place to pack because I don't know, local shows. There were so many local shows I've seen there where nobody was there because it was just big for a local show. But then I've seen some dope shows there.
Yeah, there was. I mean, it was a lot of. I met a lot of cats there too. I think that's when I met a lot of the Aztec, Barfly.
Yeah, they were all down there. I remember Proof and Alvin's.
Proof at Alvin's. I remember seeing when Emcee Search was still doing the radio.
I know. We were just talking about Charlie Beans.
Shows.
I remember Brayson Method playing Alvin's.
I knew them before that, but they were on a lot of stuff there.
Brayson Method at Alvin's. I remember that. Dude, Alvin's was cool, man.
Shout out Beans. Shout out Tony.
I was
shout out Steve.
I like Alvin's because it was always not far from me to get there from home. So it was Alvin's was straight. And it was that now I think like the Carhartt store or something's over there. But
yeah, it was just a good hip hop venue. It was just a good straight up you just felt like you were at the rap show vibe, you know?
Yeah, I think
in the corridor, we're just,
way back it had different promoters and stuff, so it was a whole different vibe, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it was good it was around. At least we got to see it because there's a lot of venues that are just gone that we used to go to, you know?
There's a lot. There's a lot that are still kicking around.
I mean, you play a lot of shows. You play a lot of places.
Yeah, I be out here.
But you find it more. You got to do. You do a lot of DJing. I mean, I see you doing tons of DJ stuff.
Yeah, I do more DJ stuff than live shows, and sometimes it's.
What's your DJ set like for somebody out there listening to Eddie Logix who's never seen you live on the?
Man, see me on the. I mean, I play some different stuff out here when I'm DJing, man. You might catch me at one spot playing some throwback hip hop stuff. You might catch me at another spot playing all disco vinyl. You might catch me at another spot playing some disco and house stuff, getting a dance floor pop.
What were you doing at the Lexington? I saw a Progress Report rocking. I saw the D.Ali out there, man.
Yeah, Lexington, I was rapping with my brother Dave.
Were you also DJing that show, or were you just?
Yeah, I was DJing for it, but we were hosting the.
Okay.
We were hosting the homies Hike Keach and No Size from New Kingdom. Their new project, Wave Generators. Go check that out. It's a dope rap project. They're on tour right now.
Was that the cats from Baltimore you was talking about?
Yeah, Hyde is from Baltimore but lives in New York, and No Size is from New York. And then they were also touring with I Alive from Philly, who produced my solo rap.
That's what I was going to say. I Alive's a cat, the Penny Marshall track we played.
Yeah, he did those beats.
Okay.
He produced that whole record.
Yeah, I see him. I see him on Instagram all the time.
Yeah, that's the homie. He raps too and does a singing project called Donovan Days.
Have you been out there? Have you been out their way?
I've been out to Philly, but we haven't linked up. I've linked up with Self Says out in Philly.
I feel Philly would be a lot like Detroit far as the talent wise. Because Philly's got some spitters, bro.
Shout out there's a lot of Philly
There's some
homies.
dope MCs from Philly.
Yeah, I Live did this project that I hopped on with this cat Andrew out there. I like a lot of his stuff. Philly got a lot of.
I saw you were in New York City. What's happening out there?
I was out there doing some DJing stuff, and really record digging.
What's New York City like for somebody from Detroit?
You know, it's just like a bigger, busier version of Detroit in some ways, but you know, it also has like all the like, you know, stuff that you think of when you think of big city in US and New York City and all the movies and TV shows. You got all that, but you know, at the end of the day, it's
New York's
just, like
just so
anywhere else.
big. It seems like you would literally. I mean, like there's so many different parts in New York. It seems like you
Yeah, I mean,
you can't see
Detroit's
it all.
big.
Huh?
It's just more empty. You know, they just got a lot more people. So it's
New York's got so many dope MCs that came from New York. It's crazy.
a lot of dope MCs.
It's so hard for me to pinpoint where my favorite New York MCs are from. But
Yeah,
lately, I've been
exactly.
thinking Queens have so many good MCs that it's ridiculous that I can't.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I've been
If you
listening to a
go
lot of
borough
stuff
for
late.
borough,
Man, like Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island. There's so many dope MCs out there, man.
a lot of spot, and there's a lot. I was out there doing a lot of record digging. I bought a lot of records last
Yeah.
time I was there.
You drive out there?
No,
I was just say how you got the records back.
I was playing. I was DJing vinyl for my record gig, so like I had to. That was my carry-on, so like I had to check a bag, and I just checked a bigger bag and put less stuff in it, so I could. I just came out there with room to bring back.
I mean, records ain't easy to get around. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
you
it's
gotta
like-
you gotta be strategic how you do it when you're bringing back a haul like that. But I just left room, and I had to. Yeah, I definitely came back on that plane over the limit and had to put records in my carry, and
Right.
it was a whole mess. In that coming back on that red eye, figuring it all out there at the whatever check-in.
They're like another one of
thing.
these DJs. Great.
They were like, you need like, I don't know what it was, 5-10 pounds. You need to lighten this bag, and I was like, or you can pay like $100, and I was like, I ain't trying to pay $100
Man.
for a few more records, but
So what, you leave a couple records at like the airport for somebody to.
no, we had bought a tote bag, so I had an extra tote bag, so I just put like more records in this tote bag, and still had my like carry-on that had all the records that I played while I was out there. So I just found out a way to make it work, but it was not comfortable for the rest.
Yeah, I gotta
of
imagine
taking
like say you
around.
went to Japan, you'd have to spend like thousands of shipping or something to get stuff back.
Yeah,
'Cause
or
there's so
just
much-
just check that bag, but make sure you know, maybe hit the weigh station or something before. But
Or
that's-
just start your own record store while you're there.
yeah, exactly. Because the shipping is too much. I mean, maybe
shipping's
back in the day
crazy.
you could do that, but the shipping is too much now.
Yeah, you don't even know if you're gonna get it.
It's just way too much. I mean, that's what's hard with the records right now. The import game is kind of messed up by all these shipping costs, and it takes a lot longer too. So
Even if you wanted to access like plants out of the country, it's logistically a nightmare to try. You're paying so much in
it's
shipping.
very much a nightmare. That's why
Because they
we're-
used to back in the day, like would get stuff shipped in from the Caribbean, all these plants and stuff, and these record companies and the
Well, yeah,
hookup.
or from like the UK, but
Yeah.
that's why we're very lucky here to have Archer.
Is that where you
and
get most
other
of your stuff
things.
pressed, or
I
all your
press at
stuff?
Archer. You know,
They do make quality
over
records.
on the east side of Detroit.
And you know, I gotta
it's
be
the
honest,
spot,
man,
you
and
know?
I've tried because I love supporting especially local hip hop, you know. But I have bought some local hip hop where I'm really disappointed in the quality of record because it's just not pressed somewhere good. And,
Yeah,
and I
it-
understand it because you want your stuff on vinyl, but man, if it ain't gonna sound good, what's the point?
Yeah, sometimes the sound quality can. There's a lot of reasons that can happen, from the mastering or just who cuts the lathe. But you know, if you have a little idea of what you're doing, and you know, Archer takes care of you. But you know, shout out, we also got like Third Man. It's good that we have a couple options here. There's the new spot that I'm blanking on the name of. There's a new spot that just opened also, and I'm not really familiar with like the quality yet or whatever, but it's just good that there's
That's cool.
like other places don't have that luxury, you know what I mean?
There's
Like,
not a
so
lot
many
of cities.
even like you were just saying in New York, like they can't press records like just there in New York like we can here. Like it's not as easy.
Nah, I mean, there's a couple cities like I know down south and some places where there might be a factory or two, but
We have
it's
that advantage.
But we do have a decent advantage, and Archer's reputable. I mean, they've been around for years.
And they take care of the local.
I mean, I got
local
some.
artists.
I got got old records from the 80s, 90s hip hop that is cut at Archer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're still doing
They've
it.
been around for a long time, and I hope they stay around forever.
For real.
Please stay around forever, Archer.
For real,
This
like-
is my cry. Please.
Yeah, we don't need
leave.
we don't need no Dollar General Records spot popping up.
No, man. I mean, but that we're lucky here with that, and that's something that that when you're talking about like with we were joking about like burying the hard drives or whatever type thing, is something that like out of here. That's also why like there's so much stuff that will live on for so long here in this city, because we have these records like we have this capability here. Like it's really a hub in other ways that you don't necessarily think about how that translates over years and years of just these records being pressed right here. It's a whole different thing. It makes for a whole historical like back catalog.
I feel like
of
we
the
gotta
city.
get a bunch of people together with their music, and we need to like really do a time capsule. Like for real, like there needs to be some kind of, that way, like 200 years from now, whatever civilization is here, rocking the Old English D, represent, well, 313 will probably be gone by then, but it'll probably be a different area code. It'll be like 315, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Yeah, they might have to change
It might be, the area codes might be like, you can't rap about no more because they're like really long and they don't rhyme with nothing.
It'll just be like .com. So
But there's got it. But for real, like it'd be dope, man. I mean, imagine if we opened up some stuff front and we all of a sudden popped this open and we heard cats spitting about Henry Ford and the Model T.
That's why in some ways just.
I mean, what if they were talking about D's back then and we didn't know it? What if they were just like, yo, the Model T got some big old D's, and we're like, what?
In some ways, I think the city just is that like on a larger scale. The city of Detroit is that in a sense. We are kind of like one. Like our city in general is kind of one big time capsule, and I say that in the best way possible. Like we like culture, the history of it and stuff like lives on in different ways here. Then I think we always talk about how we need to tell these stories and the lack of it, but to be honest, in some ways we kind of hold on to the culture a lot better than I think a lot of other places do.
I mean, look, man, like especially even when it comes down to like look at our buildings, even our sports teams, whatever. Like tradition is something that really matters,
For sure.
That's why, like, I could never picture, like, could you ever picture Detroit without an Old English D or something? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's that's tradition, and there's
I mean, man, it's just like Detroit does care about a lot of. We are prideful about tradition stuff.
Prideful about traditions, and we say, we have a lot of heroes.
I mean, come on, our roads are still the same as 100 years ago. So
roads,
we keep our roads looking the same.
Yeah, the thing is, I think we have heroes here. We have a lot of heroes, and we say their names. You know what I mean?
We do.
And I think that's important. And we don't stop saying their names. You know what I mean?
I hope they're gonna be shouting Dilla forever.
Yeah, and it goes from Dilla, and he's in the long line of.
I mean, look,
hey,
if people talk about still Mozart and they talk about Beethoven and they talk about stuff like that, then you're gonna be talking about Jay Dilla. You're gonna be talking about dudes like that. People are gonna remember what Proof did for the city, and
Yeah, I mean, nobody has stopped talking about Motown, and I feel like that. That's
even when Motown left the city, they still talk about Motown.
It's important. We have a lot of things talking about radio here. You know what I mean? Like I just saw there was like, Moody Man on his Roland campaign talking about electrifying Mojo and putting in that on that
dope. platform,
and that's special. That's like because that is of very high importance and cultural significance here. And it's important that we say these names and that we echo these things and keep it alive. You know what I mean? That's part of what
No, man,
you're on here playing these tracks on the radio. Like you're playing a part. Everybody's playing.
All kinds of dope stuff, man.
Great.
For people from different years, different generate. It doesn't matter when, man. The music is meant to be played forever.
Just keep it in the airwaves, man. Keep it in the air in general. Just that's
why radio's still around. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, technology has changed and there's a lot of ways you can get your music, but the FM radio has been around a long time.
I love it.
I mean, this radio station, this is the 39th year of WHFR.
Love it.
And it's crazy that people walk through the door here. I mean, all them dudes like we're talking about have been on this show, you know what I'm saying, in this radio station. Eminem, Dilla, all them dudes have been on WHFR, as well as Eddie Logix and a whole bunch of other people, you know?
Yeah, man, it's a great thing.
And I'm glad like everybody plays their part. That's just how it works. I mean,
yeah, man, it's good to see you back on these FM airwaves doing the thing.
Breathing oxygen on the airwaves.
It's good to be back up in here. Like,
no, it's cool.
I felt I still remember coming here back in the day with it all, and it's great. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I remember just so many dope shows. Just so much, man. There's some good times, man. We used to do a lot.
Actually, low key, this might be where I first met Pigpen. I don't know for sure.
It might be.
You did like a beat showcase on here. And there's a picture with all of us.
You know the other story that came out of that I learned like a couple years ago? I didn't even realize. That's where Foulmouth met Bizarre. And that's where they started their relationship of everything they've done with all them. They dropped, this is like their fourth He Got a Gun album and 100 other things.
That's crazy.
But they met each other here, and so we're talking. So one night I had Bash Brothers on, and Bizarre was coming on later, and he was waiting for Bizarre to come in the radio. You know, like, it was like their turn to leave. They started talking to each other, and that's how they started kicking.
Man, that makes a lot of sense.
And I never knew that till Shane told me that one time.
Recently.
Till they were doing the first He Got a Gun or something, and he was talking about it, and then I was like, for real? And I didn't know.
That's crazy. I mean, but that's how it happens, man. That's how it happens. That's why it's important to like you never know. But yeah, I think there's like a picture with like a bunch of us producers.
You're right. It was when I did the producer showcase joints.
And there's a beardless Pigpen.
Yeah, beardless, like
baby face Pigpen.
Like Pigpen might not have been old enough to even come up here. I don't even know.
Yeah, I probably had a bigger beard than he did at that point.
I remember the time they got kicked out to Miami for being too young. So
No, yeah, I want to say that was when I first met him, and look at that, all these years later,
look at Pigpen.
We got mad music together.
He's got a big beard. He's got kids. He's responsible.
He's got like 80 million synths later.
I was gonna say he's got like more instruments than Sweetwater.
Yeah, he's got oh, that's real.
They call him Downriver Water.
Yeah,
that's actually what they call him.
Yeah.
So, hey, big ups to Pigpen. I love that cat. You know, that's my boy all around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that we've talked about that before, and I if I'm not mistaken, I think that
and Pigpen
right outside
and
these
Logix
doors.
do the group Mega Powers.
Mega Powers. Shout out Mega Powers.
When's the last time you rocked?
We rocked earlier this year. We rocked.
I remember we had the L Club doing that joint.
Yeah, well, we rocked. We opened for Thievery Corporation in February at a sold out Majestic Theater show.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was great. That was
now somebody I knew is a huge fan of theirs, and they told me these dudes before were doing this. I was like, man, that's my boys. I was like, man, that was them. I was like, I know it.
Yeah, it was crazy. A lot of people there was a lot of people that even knew us that went to that show that didn't know we were rocking, and we're like, wait, what? That was fun because we didn't rock. Our last show before that wasn't until it was right before the pandemic, right before the lockdown.
Pandemic, man, just
it was end of February.
Everything's
or something like
before
that.
Pandemic, after pandemic. You know, it's like before Christ, after Christ. I mean, it's like that's how the world has been divided now.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool to get back together and rock.
I even was looking at an album the other day that came out in 2019, and the first thing I thought to myself, oh, pre-pandemic album.
It's wild, right?
like I was expecting to be rapping about something different.
A lot of stuff changed.
Crazy, man.
No, a lot of stuff didn't. So
a lot of people changed. You know what I'm saying? Like during the pandemic, a lot of it's messed up. There's just a lot of bad things that happened during the pandemic, and a lot of people also, showed who they really were and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of things, a lot of good came, and then you see how people pull together too. I mean, people
see a lot of that, and it's also, maybe it was a time you had to find yourself.
Yes. I found myself in a mask. It was all good. I found it was hard to breathe a lot.
I mean, we found ourselves.
And I learned how to breathe, have glasses and a mask at the same time.
We found ourselves in a lot of strange situations.
For real.
But we out of it now, and it's good, and it's.
I know I dropped the mad G's on DoorDash.
A lot of that. a lot of that. But we also, like we were talking before, we made some records that probably wouldn't have existed otherwise.
No, the Tiny Desk stuff was dope during it. A lot of stuff, the verses that came out of it. There was a lot of like stuff that came out of that changed the way music's being presented now.
Versus era was wild.
It was wild, bro. It really was.
It's kind of a wild thing.
I know. I mean,
I loved it, but it's wild to think about now, for sure.
It was wild how it progressed too. I went from like dudes on their phone, like broadcasting to each other, to going to arenas. It got crazy, man.
Yeah, it was, it went from like
it went for literally people
RZA
FaceTiming.
DJ Premier thing to like the Dipset and Jadakiss thing that was like a whole other level.
Where Jadakiss murdered everybody.
Yeah, it was like a whole different thing. It went from two guys just being in on their little like Zoom call.
Where you barely hear what they're playing.
Yeah, where you're like, oh, what?
Whoa, Primo just did that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
it got wild, bro. It went from social distancing to right in everybody's face.
I mean, but that's just what's gonna happen. Hip hop is gonna hip hop no matter what we're doing.
Dude, hip hop is something that it's crazy because it keeps evolving and it ain't going nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna change, obviously, but.
No, it's like we were saying with the other music stuff. It's all gonna be here and be doing its thing, one way or the other.
Yep. But so real shortly, what does Eddie Logix have coming up right now, man? What are you in the works of? I saw you say something about a jazz album.
Well, it's like not a jazz album, but it's like a kind of like a. I hate using the word like psychedelic anything, but it's kind of like a psych jazz rock album or something. It's my new instrumental like beat tape thing. I haven't really done one actually since like the beginning of the pandemic, really. But
so I mean, it's people who've heard A Logic's beat tapes. It's not the same beat tape you put out.
It's a little different.
It's something different.
It's a little different. It's still very much me, and there's stuff that's similar to other stuff that I've done, but it's just it's just a little different. It's just a little different style of it, and something that that I made. Some of it's a little more down tempo, slower. I've been making all this dance music and high BPMs and stuff. I had to slow it like way down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Slow it way down for this, and just get like a little more moodier.
So we like in the 70 beat per minute.
There's some in the 70. Yeah, there's some 70 joints.
Okay.
Early 80s, early 80 BPMs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not talking about 1980s. I'm talking about 80 beats
like
per
80
minute.
beats per minute.
They're not all like that, but yeah, some
is that done?
Slower stuff.
Is it already a wrap? Did you mix it
I'm
yet?
mixing it now, putting some finishing touches on it. So
What's
I don't
your
know
idea?
when it's gonna.
Before the year's up, after the year's over.
It's gonna
early
be
next
done,
year?
but it's probably gonna. It'll be 2025 at some point.
Okay.
It kind of depends on how we work this release out.
You got any beats on anybody? Any MCs dropping soon? You got something out there right now?
Oh yeah, I got some stuff.
What you got?
We got some new. I got some new stuff. With,
obviously we got the Portrait of a Prince out.
Got Portrait of a Prince out right now.
Vinyl, CDs.
On vinyl, CD, digital.
You got
all
tapes
that.
of this one too?
No tapes, but we got the wax.
I do like my green
CDs.
tape, my world famous green tape.
Speaking of, playing right here in the back, but we got some, some tapes. I got I got some new beats that I did for some A7 stuff. We've been a little quiet with that. We have a record.
A7?
Yes. Shout out A7.
What's his joint? What's the name of his label? What is he?
Well, it was him, and Crate Digger were doing the Ice Cream Sundays because we were meeting up to record on Sundays, and we just kind of called it that. So we have, I don't know, we got like 5-6 EPs out, and then we have an actual full album that's not out digitally. It's only out on record right now. You got to hit up your shops for that, or hit my DMs.
But the classic A7 was the first one you guys did, right?
Lights Out of the Power Grid.
Yeah. And you definitely came out when that came out.
Yeah, I'm sure we were here for that.
Because there was a while A7 took a hiatus for rapping, wasn't there? I mean, I didn't hear him for a long time.
Yeah, he was out for a minute playing the bass, doing some other things.
I mean, that vinyl you gave me was one of the first things I really heard A7 on in a long time.
Yeah, and he's
always dope, man.
We recorded a whole bunch of stuff that still hasn't come out from these sessions. So there's there's a lot of that stuff, and you know, I don't know, I'm doing some more rapping. I gotta, you know, like I said, I produced this whole new project for Jay Walker that we're gonna drop next year too on Snow Global.
Is Snow Global your joint? What Snow?
Snow Global is kind of a collective. It's kind of like a co-owners thing. It's just kind of a place for us to do our kind of own brand of whatever, but just something that we can have for, you know, a project like Portrait of a Prince that just has all posse cuts. It's no one person's album and no one, you know.
JP from the HP.
Shout out JP.
This dude's dope, man.
Shout out long hair, long care.
That dude used to do those videos all the time that were hilarious.
Man, he's great. Yeah, that's the homie.
Your dude who sings all over this, James, is dope.
James Link. Shout out to James.
Dude's got a dope voice, man.
He's singing and he's rapping on that.
Does he have has he ever put out like a singing album?
Oh yeah.
I never heard. I just hear him on your stuff.
Yeah, check out more of his stuff.
I like to because I really think that dude's dope.
He's got a lot of cool stuff, and I'm sure he's been doing like a lot of singles lately, but I'm sure he's got some new stuff.
And that one song like you guys did like 10 years ago on the Coners joint. What was the single you had the video for?
Oh, Lights on Rider.
He killed that joint.
Yeah,
he killed it.
Yeah, he's the man.
But I like the live. I saw the video at Hamtramck What do they call it now? The Hamtramck Festival, Hamtramck Blowout, Hamtramck.
Hamtramck Labor Day Festival.
Something like that now. Yeah. But it was dope. I saw you guys all up there, man.
Yeah, we had like
a whole posse.
Pretty much like we were rocking the posse cuts. We had Jane Fader out there making. Yeah, the Two Planes rap debut.
That's your girl who doing real estate on stage or something like that.
Well, she was just rapping. She's rapping.
I seen her representing like the real estate company and like she's holding it down. I was like,
I mean, like that's kind of Doc Waffles be like in the real estate.
No,
but
you guys look like you're having fun, bro.
That's all we're doing is having fun, man. Having fun with it. It's good. It's good to still.
Is there gonna be another Coner show in the future? What's coming up?
We'll do some other stuff.
I want to see I need to see another Coner show.
Yeah,
bro.
we'll do another one for sure.
Remember Doc Waffles when we used to battle rap?
Yeah, somebody else was bringing that up to me recently, but yeah, he was crazy on the battle.
Yeah, raps. He was, bro. Doc Waffles, that dude. I always laugh when he says some crazy stuff sometimes.
Yeah, he has some crazy.
He takes me a minute sometimes to even know what he's trying to say.
Man, he had this line in this one battle that he told the dude, "You look like all three Fujis combined," and I was
be ugly,
and it was just like, it was just the craziest thing to say at that moment, and it was, man, it was just, it was, yeah, there's some levels to that, but he had countless great battles. You know?
I like that dude, man. So big ups to Doc Waffles. Well, man, I just wanted to make sure you got the stuff on here, dude. I think the song I'm gonna play here is a song you were talking about, City of Darkness. We didn't do that one yet.
No, that's the last one on it. That's not the one we were talking about. I did introduce the wrong one. So the Defense of Darkness earlier, that's with James Link.
Okay, so we played that one earlier.
And Emcee Friendly.
And we played Lake of Darkness earlier.
Yeah, and Lake of Darkness had Jay Walker, James Link, and myself.
And this one,
and Mister was on that one.
This one is City of Darkness with Doc Waffles.
City of Darkness got me and Doc Waffles and Clyde Moot.
Clyde Moot.
Shout out Clyde Moot.
Who's the Long John Silvers?
Oh, Long John Silvers is that's the secret group. That's the secret singing vocals. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, well, you gotta do some.
What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna rock that. I'm gonna rock a Mega Powers joint, and I got some A-Logix. What's that hologram joint I got? I'm gonna do that one too. The one that came off the vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Hologram for the Kings.
Hologram for the Kings.
Yeah, so we'll rock that stuff out, man, and let you do what you got to do. Anything else you want to say to the people listening to Beats to the Rhymes tonight, man?
My man, I appreciate you having me out here. It's been a minute.
But I see you everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You're my dude,
I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate, hearing you play not just my joints on here, but all the homies' joints, and just a good cast of local hip hop, and not just local stuff, some other stuff too.
For sure.
But you hold down like a lot of cats that like deserve a voice.
They should be played.
And that they should be played on. And it's great to see, man. I'm so happy this exists. you know, like
Hey, man.
you've been doing your thing on some other avenues too, but it's just great to like be back here on some FM radio and stuff that you can listen to in the city, tune in, you know what I mean? Like, we need more of this, and it's just great, man. You're holding down a lot of people, and
I'm glad
I'm
still glad you're doing it too, man, because I've seen you come a long way, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
And one thing I always know about you is you're always evolving, and you know what I'm saying? You're not one of these dudes that just are happy doing the same old thing. You're always pushing the envelope somewhere.
We gotta switch it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like our taste buds change over the years
For
and
real.
everything, and like, you know, you still have your favorites and your go-tos, but you gotta switch it up, get some new flavor in there, and that's all we do it, man. We just evolving. We're just trying to keep up with some stuff, trying to stay creative, man.
Yes, sir.
It's just do what you want to do.
Let's do it up, man.
If you got something you want to do and you haven't done it yet, go do that, you know?
I got cut. I'm gonna rock this joint. Then I'm gonna play a couple Halloween joints. I'll try to mix in here too. All right, let's do it, man. Hey, Lodge, thanks for having me on, bro.
Yo.
Let's do this right here. Co-owners.
Thank you, bro. Co-owners.